Okay, let's talk about it. You've seen them, right? Those absolutely insane double-digit APYs on stablecoins. It kind of feels like you've stumbled on a cheat code for money. But is it really? Is it too good to be true? Where is that yield actually coming from? All right, let's dig in and figure this out together.
Before we go any further, let's just get one thing straight. This is the single most important rule. It's the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. And it's this: stablecoin yield is not free money. It sounds simple, I know, but trust me, burning this one fact into your brain will save you more headaches than you can imagine. So that leads us right to the big question, doesn't it? If it's not magic, and it's definitely not free, then where in the world is this money actually coming from? Nailing down the answer to this is how we unlock the whole thing, both the exciting opportunities and, yeah, the real dangers.
You know, this isn't just a crypto thing. In any kind of finance, yield doesn't just appear out of thin air. It always, and I mean always, comes from one of three places. One, someone is borrowing your money and paying you for it. Two, you're being subsidized, basically paid to show up. Or three, and this is the one you really have to watch out for, you are taking on some kind of hidden risk, maybe one you don't even see. Now, in the world of stablecoins, those three reasons usually pop up in four main flavors. We're going to break them down: lending, liquidity incentives, leverage, and something called platform or counterparty yield. Each one works a little differently and, you guessed it, comes with its own unique set of risks.
All right, first up, we've got lending yield. This is probably the one that makes the most sense right off the bat. It's basically the crypto version of a high-yield savings account. You put your stablecoins in, and someone else, say a trader who needs some quick capital, borrows them. They then pay you interest for that loan. Super straightforward, right? It's the oldest game in town.
Okay, next on the list is liquidity incentives. Here's a good way to think about it. Imagine a new store is opening up, and they need customers in the door to look busy and attract more people. So they pay the first 100 people just to show up. That's kind of what's happening here. A new project needs a big pile of stablecoins to work properly. So to get you to provide that capital, they'll pay you, a lot of times in their own shiny new token. You're getting paid to be one of the first in the door. All right, source number 3 is where things start to get a little wild. We're talking about leverage looping. Now, this is definitely an advanced move, not for beginners. The basic idea is you use your money to borrow more money to juice your returns. So you might take $100, use it as collateral to borrow another 100, and now suddenly you're earning yield on $200. It's a way to turn a pretty good yield into a mind-blowing one. But, and this is a huge but, it's a massive double-edged sword. It cranks up your gains for sure, but it cranks up your losses just as fast. And that brings us to our fourth and final source, platform or counterparty yield. This is what happens when you hand your stablecoins over to a centralized company, you know the type, and they promise you a nice steady return. What they're doing is taking your money behind the scenes and using their own secret sauce strategies to generate yield. The thing is, you're putting 100% of your trust in them. You're betting on their competence and their honesty, often with zero transparency into what they're actually doing. And, well, we've all seen headlines about how badly that can go when one of these platforms blows up. So, there you have it, the 4 big ways you can earn yield. But now we get to the other side of the coin. And this is so important to get. Every single one of these yield sources has a shadow, a risk that's attached at the hip. You are getting paid because you are taking that risk. They are inseparable. So what kind of monsters are hiding in the shadows? Well, let's look at the risk map. For starters, the stablecoin itself could depeg, right? It could stop being worth $1. The code behind the platform, the smart contract, could have a bug that a hacker finds. If you're playing with leverage, you could get completely wiped out, liquidated. The platform you gave your money to could just go bankrupt. That's counterparty risk. The incentive token they're paying you with could crash to zero. See? That yield you're earning, that's your danger pay. That's your compensation for stepping into this arena. Okay, I get it. Looking at a list like that can feel overwhelming. But here's the good news. You don't need to be some kind of genius to stay safe. There's a really simple framework you can use to cut through all the noise and all the marketing hype. And this is it. It's your 60-second safety check. Just 5 simple questions you need to ask every single time. Number 1, where is the yield actually coming from? Be specific. Number 2, what's the absolute worst that can happen here? Is a total loss on the table? Number 3, who has custody of my funds? Are they in my wallet or someone else's? Number 4, if things get crazy, what's my exit plan? How fast can I get my money out? And number 5, what parts of this can I verify myself on-chain versus what am I just taking someone's word for? And that brings us to maybe the single most valuable piece of advice I can give you. If you go through those 5 questions and you find yourself shrugging your shoulders or the answers are vague, the move is simple. You just label that opportunity unknown and you walk away. You just skip it, no FOMO. Protecting your cash is job number 1, always.
Okay, so you've got the checklist. But beyond that, there are a few classic red flags that should make your internal alarm bells start screaming. Let's quickly go over them. If you see a ridiculously high APY, but the explanation for it is super fuzzy, red flag. If they're offering incentives, but there's no clear end date for the program, that's another red flag. Long lockup periods where you can't get your money out, or withdrawal gates that can suddenly turn on, huge red flags. And of course, a project with no public audits or just a general lack of transparency, yeah, you should probably run the other way. These are all clues that the risk is way higher than they're letting on.
So let's wrap this all up. The main takeaway, the thing to remember, is this. Sustainable yield is never free. It is always a trade-off. Simple as that. You are getting paid a reward to take on a risk. And the bigger the reward they're dangling in front of you, you can bet the bigger the risk is, even if you can't see it.
And that really leaves us with the one question you have to ask yourself every single time you see one of these opportunities. Just ignore the big, shiny APY number for a minute and ask yourself this. Is this reward really worth the risk I'm taking on, especially the risks that aren't spelled out in big, bold letters? Your answer to that question, that's the only one that really matters. And of course, just a quick disclaimer, this is all for educational purposes. The goal here is to give you a framework to think about these things, but it's absolutely not financial advice. Please, please always do your own research.